Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women. That is good. That is good.
Hello, welcome to Forces of Destruction. I'm gonna redo my last battle report. I had some audio troubles, so I'm gonna give it another shot here. It's a 3,000 point battle report, Orcs versus Brettonian. My list, I'm switching it up quite a bit, trying to get ready for a 3,000 point big battle coming up at Adepticon on Friday in about 2 weeks. So switching it up, playing with a few things, trying to get used to playing with some single trolls. So here is my deployment left to right. I have 2 trolls there, a mango squig, a goblin chariot. I have my unit of black orcs. I have my doom diver in the back there that I'm working on. And then my black orcs, I have the special character Grimgore. He's a pretty killy guy. The black orcs do have a flaming banner, which is risky. But on the other hand, I got my general in there, and his magical axe would not be affected by the flaming. In the center, I got 80 night goblins, 2 big bosses in there with great weapons, rock thrower behind there. The goblins do have nets, but no fanatics. Most people assume there's going to be fanatics in there. I don't have any, so they'll still probably move up to try to redirect. Or not redirect, to draw them out, and then I can hopefully kill them. So my goblin bunker back there, I'm going with a level 2, or it's a goblin war boss with the wizard hat. So he's a level 2 of any spell. I have a BSB night goblin, and I have 2 level 2 night goblins. It gives me a pretty effective magic phase. I can throw a lot of dice with the magic mushroom, get spells back, and who knows what you'll get with the random lore. In this particular game, I got lore of beasts, and I'll go over that in a minute. But then I have another mangler squig and a goblin wolf chariot. I try to put my goblin chariots near the mangler squig, hoping that I can kill anybody trying to run over the mangler squig. I didn't really do a good job of that this game, but that's the intention. 45 savage orc biggins, and with the musician and banner, 5 hoppers behind there, and then another doom diver. No bolt throwers this game, just 2 doom divers and a rock lobber. So that's my deployment. And then my opponent, Brettonian list 3,000. He's got a couple frilly things in here. He's got the points. He's just trying some things out. I'll go over his actual deployment here, but he's got a lord level on a hippogriff, and he's got a lord in one of those middle knight buses, and a bunch of paladins, and 2 damsel level 2s. So his deployment from right to left is going to be 3 peg knights, trebuchet, a grail relique, which is something interesting. He likes it. It's stubborn hatred, but strength 3, weapon skill 2 doesn't do a lot for you. It's got a unit of knights there next to them, knights of the realm. It's got a couple paladins in the front and full command. And then over to the side of that, let's see, get to the next picture. He's got some more knights of the realm, and then there he's got a lord level character and a paladin BSB and another paladin. So I fill up those front ranks with characters. It's kind of tough to overcome their weapon skill sometimes and get some wounds on. So it's a good tactic. And he's got 5 mounted yeomen there before vanguard sitting there, and inside those 2 knight units, he both has a level 2. He took Lord Beast as well. He's got Savage Beast and a couple of his, the 0 level spell, and nothing too crazy. And then he's got the 50 men at arms and 10 archers behind their stakes, and there's a Lord level character on a hippogriff. The hippogriff is, it's not very effective. When they get a new book, maybe they'll get an armor save, but it's neat. It's still a monster. He's never really ran him before. It's a beautiful model. It looks really nice up close. Painted really well. And then here he's got some skirmishing archers on the hill, and then there's another trebuchet disguised as a lightning cannon. And in this, those trebuchets are definitely worth the points. in this game, you'll see how valuable they are. And then to the left of that is a unit of 5 Knights Errant, or not 5, a unit of Knights Errant with the entry banner. But yeah, the 3,000 point versus 3,000 point, this big brawl that's coming up, there's no restrictions, so I'm looking forward to just a game of lining things up and going ahead and smashing. So that's the army deployments. Brettonian Prey, first turn, which is always nice. So I'll be getting the first turn. Now I want to talk about my wizards here. I know I just have 3 level 2s and 1 is subject to stupidity, but getting that wizard hat really opens things up quite a bit. In this particular game, I rolled Beast, and I got Wissen's Wild Form and Savage Beast of Horus. I think I traded for the Wissen's, but you know, I've got that Goblin bunker with all those characters in it, and I have 3 Nasty Skulkers in there. And Nasty Skulkers kind of suck, but with Savage Beast of Horus on Skulkers, they turn into 18 strength 6 always strikes first killing blow attacks, and that is something I'm going to really try to make happen this game. That's the Vanguard moves for the Brettonian player. I have no Vanguards myself. I didn't take any wolves. Just relying on some chariots and my 3 trolls, which I'm learning kind of how what they can and can't do as redirectors. So orcs take first turn, and I move as fast as I can on the left hand side with my savage orcs. The wolf chariot moves up alongside there. My goblin bunker unit starts to move in behind my night goblins, and everything else, then night goblins maybe inch up slightly, nothing major. The mango squig moves out in the middle. 1 troll runs out there to try to get ready to redirect something. Now, you know, I spend a lot of my shooting here in this next phase trying to kill those those mounted yeomen. I don't normally shoot at mounted yeomen, but I was hoping to save that mangler squig by doing that. I ended up killing 3, but that's not enough to get rid of them. And I had put a spell on the hex spell to try to lower their movement, but I rolled a 1, so that didn't help them either. Normally I'd shoot at the armored knights, but I figured if my mangler squig could get to them, that would be even better. So goes to Brettonian turn. He's measuring a distance here for a charge, and I'm perfectly happy with that. He ends up charging the Knights Errant into the Savage Orcs, and he tries to charge his Lord on the Hippogriff into the Savage Orcs. I think he maybe figures it'd be safer in combat than not. On the right, he I think this is actually still a picture of my turn, but I get a buff up on my night goblins. I'm throwing spells left and right, not a lot in range though, so just throwing buffs up and kind of having my way with the magic phase. On his turn, he moves his peg knights on the other side of the mangler squig, and I'm not sure what he's thinking there, trying to set up a charge on something. I'm still driving that mangler squig, so I'm going to be able to run it back into him unless he could kill it with shooting, and there's not really much. He's got 2 trebuchets and no archers over here, so looks like good there. He moves up his relique, and he starts to move the men-at-arms around that little statue there. The knights just kind of creep up a little bit. He's keeping them in reserve, trying to look for that optimal charge that Brettonians need to win a game. And over on the left is he does complete the charge of the knights. His Hippogriff Lord fails and ends up just flopping down on the other side of the archers. His skirmishing archers move up a full move, so they're standing right there. And goes to the combat phase, and he has a Rubber Lance Syndrome, and he's weapon skill 3. I guess my big one's weapon skill 4, so he's hitting on 4s. And out of the 3, 5, 6, 7, whatever, 8 or 9 attacks, he ends up killing 1 Savage Orc between the ward save and whatnot. So that went really badly for him. His trebuchets are golden. 1 drifts off and hits dead square in the night goblins and kills about 12 or 13. And the other one direct hit on the goblins and messes that unit up pretty good. Drops it down to like 8 goblins and my characters. Here's my to wound rolls for my Savage Orcs against his Knights Errant. That's it, you know. Just that's a lot of strength 5 attacks. That's a lot of 4-up armor saves that he's looking to get, and I end up killing I think 6. 3 end up staying alive, but with my combat resolution, he is testing on I think Snake Eyes, and he fails, and he runs 11 inches with Swift Ride, and I roll an 11 on 2 dice and catch him and run him down, and then I also end up ramming into those skirmishing archers who are just caught. They're just caught unaware and facing the full fury of my Savage Orders. So on my turn, I do charge that Lord on the Hippogriff. I don't know what he has and what he's equipped with, so I charge my Wolf Chariot at it, hoping to get lucky with my impact hits. Here I roll an animosity result of a 1 and a 1 for the Night Goblins, and they end up squabbling with the goblins behind them, which is horrible because I was going to move all those characters out of that unit into the Night Goblins, and now I cannot do anything but hope that the Rocks of Death do not target me, because the actual result too is they attacked those goblins and did enough wounds to make it so they are no longer get a lookout sir. So it's horrible. There's my goblin into them. My Savage Orcs easily beat those archers, who actually do more wounds than the Knights Errant on a Charge did. They did 2, and I overrun and end up right there. The Mangler Squid goes through the Peg Knights, and he has Wissens up, but it's still Strength 6 versus Toughness 5, and I roll horrible. I roll 2 wounds, or 2 hits with the Mangler, and I roll a 1 to wound on one, and he makes his ward save on the other, so I don't do anything to the Peg Knights. That really sucked. So now the Mangler Squid's just kind of veering around out of control, and usually what he does is runs over my Black Lords, so I'm hopeful that that will not happen, but that's what usually happens. So that's where we end my turn, and we go to the Brettonian turn. Oh, also I moved that troll. I charged with it. That was a horrible mistake against the Relique. It's not horrible, but it's just stupid. You should have just moved up there and faced so they'd have to like kill him and go towards those trees and get out of the game, but or reform. But yeah, I charged him, and I actually did 2 wounds. He did none, but he had 3 ranks, and he beats me by 1. And I have a leadership 4, and I flee. So that's where the troll ends up, and the Relique ends up right behind those Peg Knights. So my single trolls are just doing they're not really doing what they're supposed to be doing, and that's because that's my fault, but I'll get the hang of them. Peg Knights charged the Goblin Chariot, which I was happy with that. That's kind of why I put that Goblin Chariot there. I was hoping that he would take the easy kill, and he charges it. He does not kill it on the charge. I don't know if I'm showing pictures of it later, but the Goblin holds out for 3 combat rounds. So this charge, the next one, and then he finally kills it. The Lord charges the Night Goblins, and he comes in there. And I've got the armor piercing buff up. I think that's the only thing I have up. And his men-at-arms attempted to charge as well, but they fell short. They needed to roll like a 10, and so that was pretty far for them. And that's where they ended up after their failed charge. So it's just the Lord versus the Goblins. His archers charge into the flank of my Savages, and that's pretty bold. Not a very good chance he'll win, but he still will force me, even if I win, he'll force me to chase after him. So get away from his Trebuchet, which is what I think he's trying to protect here. And that is the next 2 rocks. Both score direct hits. If it wasn't for the Iron Curse icon, everybody in there would be dead. With the help of him rolling a couple 1s, my War Boss with the Wizard Hat has not taken a wound. I have 1 Goblin left from the unit. That's the Standard Bearer. So there's 3 hidden Skulkers in there, and then I have the 1 level 2 Wizard left. And there's my Savages Orc. They killed those archers pretty easily, and I rolled I think a Boxcars on my pursuit, ran them down, and run into the back of the Men-at-Arms. We kind of had a decision. He was trying to decide whether or not they'd be in horde, so he just said run them like that, and that's fine. It turns out to really help me in that way, but the Mangler Squid goes the right way on its, and it runs right over the top of those 2 knights and does about 1 wound to the Black Knights and about 3 or so to the Yellow and Green Knights. So that was nice. Yeah, the savages over there, they should probably be in horde. They should have just wheeled around and chased after. He said he wanted it that way, and I was happy to oblige. But so that's where they are. So on the next phase there, the Lord breaks on the Hippogriff in 2 rounds of combat. I had Wissens up at this point, and armor piercing, did a couple wounds to him. He flubbed his attacks and rolled a 1 for his Thunder Stomp, and I had netted him, so he's -1 strength. And he flees, and I run him down. So yeah, by running him down, kind of leaves my flank exposed. He had killed, or he beat that troll, did 2 wounds to it with the relique. Didn't run it down. It bounced out the other side of the black orcs there, and actually the night goblins before they moved, and that's where that's at. So on his turn, well, there's the men-at-arms. If you've seen the last picture, they're actually on the other side of my black orcs. They fled all the way through. Beat them. It was not steadfast because of the way I was formed up, and so the men-at-arms are gone. So, but he's got a big charge to do here against the night goblins, and I have armor piercing up and Wissens Wild Form, so I'm kind of hopeful that I will be able to withstand it. This is before combat. He comes charging in. I net the unit on the left, and they've been debuffed where they have a -1 initiative, so I strike faster than the troops with my night goblins. I make a mistake and don't throw attacks towards the relique. I was throwing everything at the knights with the buffs up, trying to kill knights, and it's kind of a mistake. But this is after combat. So after combat, I've got 5 ranks. He's got 4 with the relique, 2 with the black knights, and 1 with the yellow knights. So he would have a total of 7 ranks. I believe that's how you do it. You add up all the ranks of all the enemies. So his 7 against my 5. So the goblins would need Sneak Eyes, and they're not going to pass that. So they'll be fleeing away from the relique. Now at this point we have to stop because he has to go take care of some stuff. So we have to finish the game. If the night goblins would have held, this game would be over. So what's going to happen now is they're going to flee away from the relique, and he's going to, if he chases with his knights, he'll get him out of the way. The savage orcs probably might run into the hoppers with the yellow. But he's going to end up in front of that single goblin with the banner with the 3 nasty skulkers. And I still have my level 2 with the Savage Beast of Horus alive. So I'm hopeful that I'm going to be able to get that spell off. Over on the right, he does kill that chariot finally, and he reforms to face that way. So it's going to be my turn once we resolve what happens with the goblins fleeing. And then after that, it's going to be kind of a, I guess at this point, I used to always like in the strategy magazines, what would you do, find out next week. I personally, if I was Brettonian, I would reform with the relique and make it so that the black orcs have to fight them and maybe veer them off to the right, or because they're stubborn, so it only takes 1 guy to be alive. There may not be 1 guy alive, but there probably will be. I don't have that many attacks, even fighting with 2-hand weapons right now. And then I would pursue the night goblins with both units of knights, try to get them out of the way of the savage orcs. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I hope this audio quality is a little bit better than it has been. I'm still trying to mess with some settings and get some things set up. But one of the things, as far as my build, I'm going to talk about is the wizarding hat really gives my army some really interesting abilities. With the 2 level 2 night goblins, I have a lot of dice to throw, even if on a 7 magic phase. I've got I can throw 2 dice at a spell with a magic mushroom. If he lets it go, I can steal 1 of his dice, and I've had really good magic phases. Well, I had 2 magic phases, and 1, the squabbling kept me from having a magic phase. But then 2 that I've had, they've been very productive, and didn't always get every spell off, but it really gives me some opportunities that I don't normally have, even with a level 4 Savage Orc Shaman. So I'm looking forward to keep playing with that wizard hat, and it's a crapshoot what you get. But in this particular instance, it makes my orcs super tough, strength big ones would be, or black orcs, you know, they'd be strength 5 base, and with the chopper rule, and toughness 5. So, but haven't had that happen yet. But thanks for watching. Hope it's a little better, and I'll keep working on it. Thank you very much. Hi, baby. Making it out
Asshole.
important.